My roommate allowed a stranger to use my room while I was away without asking, and I came back to find it trashed. So, I let some couples use my roommate's room for fun during one of his parties. I live in a nicely sized 2-bedroom apartment with my roommate, Caleb. Caleb has a tendency to invite his friends over a lot and let them crash on our couch. Recently, I went on a 2-week cruise with my girlfriend. When I got back, I went to my room to unpack and found a guy I didn't know sleeping in my bed. I asked who the hell he was and to get out. He said to chill out, that he was a friend of Caleb's who told him he could crash in my room for a few weeks. As he got dressed and grabbed his bag, he told me about how lucky my room is, as he didn't sleep much while he was here. That was when I actually took a good look around my room. It was a disaster area. The guy had worn my clothes and used my towels and left them lying everywhere. I checked my bed, and the sheets had all kinds of stains that made me want to vomit. In one corner of the room was also a pile of used condoms I guess he just assumed would magically land in a non-existent trash can. I went straight to my roommate's room and started banging on his door. When he answered, I asked why he would ever give my room to someone else. He said I wasn't home, so what did it matter? I said I had still paid rent. It was my room and he had no right to let his friend do whatever he wanted in there. I told him to either call his friend to come over and clean up the mess, or he would have to. He said he'd call him, but that he probably wouldn't come back. There was also no way he was going to clean up someone else's mess. I told him it was his mess, since it was his friend who did it. He just closed the door in my face, telling me to suck it up and stop whining. I knew he wasn't going to change his mind, so I went to the store and bought everything I would need to deep clean my room. I had to throw out all of my underwear that I hadn't brought on the cruise with me, as well as my sheets and comforter. For good measure, I bleached every single surface in the place. I found women's underwear and some lipstick. After the cleaning frenzy, I called and told my girlfriend what had happened, as not only did I need to vent, but I didn't need her coming over later and finding something I missed, like a woman's hair or whatever, and thinking the worst. She told me I should do something in retaliation to my roommate that was just as bad as what happened to me. I thought it over and decided it was time I let Caleb host a party in our apartment. Since we moved in together, he has been pushing me to let him host parties in our home, but I have refused as I don't want to get stuck cleaning up the mess. This time, however, I had a plan. By the next weekend, Caleb had invited a bunch of people over, and I made it my mission to find every single couple there and inform them that Caleb was more than happy to let them use his bedroom if they wanted some privacy. This went on for a while, as Caleb loved being the host to a lit party. By the third week, he told me he was starting to get sick of finding his bedroom occupied during the parties, that he had caught a few in the act, and found the aftermath of some dirty as people who made a mess in his room. I told him that was rough, and I'm sure he could figure out a way to stop it. So by the next week, he put up a sign that said, "No entry," and moved a chair in front of his door. I just so happened to be walking by, and thought that the chair might be a hazard blocking the way like that, and, oops, the sign fell off. Oh well, my room was safe of course, as after the incident I installed a lock onto my door. This whole thing went on for about 2 months. Caleb was miserable, and didn't even want to use his bed anymore because of the things he had found. But he was worried that if he stopped throwing the parties, his friends would get pissed at him. I just shrugged, and told him that this was his own mess he had to clean up.